Hi, I'm Tim Dowd. We are here at Lion Force Comics, and I'm here talking with Lorenzo Lizana, artist of Street Soldier, right here, as well as Jonathan London, writer of Miami Vice. Thank you. He got it in my head. Miami Vice. And we would like to talk to you guys about the company as well as your individual comics. So what can you tell about anyone who doesn't know about Lion Force?
Well, Lion Forge is our digital publishing company, and we're available on all these different platforms. You can, if you have a digital device, you can download our books every month and enjoy them. It's a whole new take on a whole bunch of different properties. We have licensed properties as well as our own intellectual properties for the company called the Catalyst Prime Universe. But with the licensed properties, we have Miami Vice, Airwolf, Knight Rider, Punky Brewster, and Saved by the Bell. And we also have some retro ones as well from the 80s that are from TV. You remember the cartoons: Denver the Last Dinosaur, Saber Riders, Galaxy Rangers, all the cool stuff. Yeah.
All right, great. Now, for your license works, a lot of them from the 80s, some the early 90s, kind of a continuation. So, what do you feel? Do these comics feel like a continuation, or reimagining, or what a contemporization? What do you feel you bring to these comics?
Well, Lion Forge has been really great at taking the creators and saying what is an idea that you're passionate about, and with some of the creations like Air Force and Knight Rider, those are complete reimaginings. Not to say that they won't have shout-outs or some form of implementation of the classic 80s Airwolf or Knight Rider, but those two specifically are like a fresh modernization of the Air Force, the Airwolf and Knight Rider that we all love. With Miami Vice, what I was passionate about when I started watching the episodes and researching it was that there were places that I wanted to know more about the characters, and I also thought with Vice specifically that the 80s was a character in itself. So I didn't want to run the danger of taking it out and having to maybe abandon. I mean, I feel like you may alienate what made it work by taking it out of the 80s. So I'm keeping it completely straight in continuity. So if you're a big fan of Miami Vice from the 80s, or if you discovered it on Netflix, you'll actually see where these issues fall into place in the first 2 seasons.
All right, great. Now, in addition to your license works, we also have the Catalyst Prime universe that you alluded to earlier. Can you tell us a little bit about the Catalyst Prime universe, what distinguishes it from some of the other big superhero companies and lines?
Oh, definitely. The Catalyst Prime universe is our reimagining of our superheroes. In a sense, we basically came up with a brand new. Sorry, he's walking in. Basically, it's a launch of a brand new superhero universe, and it's one that doesn't have like a ton of bad continuity issues or anything like that. Anyone, anywhere can just start off right away. We have all ages books, and we have superheroes that are just kind of fresh and new. We have Quincredible, a young teenager who gets these powers, and in this universe, an event happens, which means a catalyst event happens in the universe, and all these characters get different powers because of this event through whatever strange means, but it's all tied up within their book storylines. And they don't even cross over just yet, but you can get a full storyline from Roboy, Excel, Quincredible, Wondrous, and then Quentin Rampage Jackson, who is the Street Soldier. And he has really cool powers, but he's imagined as a superhero now. And we met him. He's a really nice guy. And this is what he wanted. He said, turn me into a superhero. I want to fight crime. I want to kick butt.
And he's part of continuity.
Yeah, he's part of continuity.
So Rampage Jackson's part of the Catalyst Prime continuity.
He is now. Yeah, we actually added him in because he's a cool character.
See, now that's very interesting. Because both Wondrous and Street Soldier have that incorporation of real life people. What led you guys to go down that path? There's other universes. Marvel, for instance, very famously pulled in odd celebrities here. Most recently, President Obama and Jay Leno in a really odd contrast.
It's almost like Muhammad Ali fighting Superman, but then after the fight, Muhammad Ali then goes and fights Lex Luthor, Brainiac, the Joker. He just hangs out for a little bit.
Well, this character hangs out because we worked out an agreement with him, and he wanted to be part of our universe, so it works out pretty good that way. And now with Claire Sinclair, her character and their powers, the Wondrous character itself is several characters. It's not just, she's just happened to be the Wondrous of the launch period. Sure. And there'll be others. So it's kind of
like an entity.
Yeah, it's an entity in a sense. So, but it'll be a fun. People can follow the adventures online, like I said, on all the digital devices. We're on Amazon, we're on Kindle, Nook, and a couple others. So
Crockett and Tubbs characters, those aren't just Those are your parents' Crockett and Tubbs.
Right.
Those aren't entities.
Are your parents Crockett
Your
and Tubbs.
parents' Crockett and Tubbs. Available on Netflix.
Now, for the people who maybe checked out Marvel DC and maybe didn't quite find what spoke to them about it, what would you say about the Lion Forge line that maybe could bring them to you guys instead of them?
Well, I always say I'm a little meaner when I say it. I apologize to anyone, but we have a fresher, cleaner, more accessible approach that's not convoluted with all this other stuff that you got to buy 20 books to understand one. You can just pick one book up and you get it. You know, you follow it, you go on. It's much easier. It's accessible to anybody all across the world. You know, that's how we do it, and we're not putting any restrictions on anything. Anybody here can just start right now. You know, pick up any book and you would be able to understand it and follow it. And that's kind of how we like to do things. And making our characters fresh. You got a lot of multicultural characters, which you don't see as prevalent in a lot of books. We don't make a big push for that, but we just happen to do that because we see there's a lot of things that are missing that aren't being represented in regular mainstream comics, especially superhero universes. You know, you don't see this many heroes of different nationalities and so forth, or women. So, you know, we switch it up. You know, when I say women who are empowered that aren't just done a specific way.
But with the digital ability to distribute these books, even if there is a crossover, you aren't going to find yourself going through past, you know, dollar bins to find out what's going on. And like Lorenzo said, there's not 40 years of continuity here.
Right. It's fresh.
It's
new.
Completely fresh, and it's accessible. It's right there on your iOS device. Mm-hmm. So anybody can get into it. It doesn't matter what your entry is. Any of these titles or entries in the universe, it doesn't matter. You're going to quickly start seeing the connections, and you're going to definitely want to pursue them.
All right. Great. Now, I clearly mentioned the iOS app for digital distribution. Is there any other way of, let's say someone doesn't have an Apple device but wants to read your comics on a laptop, on a home computer, do you have a way for people to download and get your comics there?
Yeah, through our website. You know, and we're building our own app as well, to where you can download our app for free, and then through that app you'll have all our titles on there. They'll be available.
And is it possible to, I see you have some hard copies here, but is that just for the con, or do you guys also try to ship comics to certain stores?
Well, these are preview copies. It gives everyone, it's a free preview at different conventions. We'll have like exclusive at C2E2, San Diego, here in New York, and our local cons too. We go out and we try to just spread the word. We'll be at Kamikaze in November, and we'll be there with our even bigger booth. And we'll be promoting, and we even have a big promotional with Stan Lee as well.
Let me ask you something, Lorenzo. So what about once a storyline's completed, would it then be collected into like a trade so that people could read those?
Definitely. And that's the way we're actually, if we're doing print, it'll be trade paperback graphic novels of the full collection, so you get a full story, beginning, middle, and end, and there's nothing left to chance. You're not going to go, oh, I got this and I'm missing issue 12. It'll all be together. And only certain books will be that way, depending upon the sales of the digital and so forth, and different licenses that we have, how they permit. So we'll do it that way. Yeah.
All right. Great.
There'll be some print down the road.
All right. Wonderful. Right. What's the website, just again, so they can find you?
On lionforge.com.
Lionforge.com, yeah.
All right. Lionforge.com.